welcome to another video. Tesla sold 75% BTC from their portfolio. 25% still remains. And everybody in the crypto space is just hating on Elon Musk. This guy was supposed to be the big Bitcoin bull that we had in this market. But he's the one selling right now. It's pretty sad, but if you look into it technically, his company needed cash flow, he needed cash. Cash is the king in a bear market, and he just sold some BTC to recover that. And Tesla recorded very good revenues of Q2. Since Q2 is ending, a lot of companies are going to be sharing their earning reports, especially the big whales out there, and they need to show some good revenue to their investors. Tesla was not the only one selling BTC. Large institutions have been selling BTC since May. May and June was really bearish for the crypto markets. Bitcoin went all the way down, and that brought a lot of FUD in the companies. In the Ethereum conference, Vitalik shared Ethereum is going to process 100,000 transactions per second. That is the huge milestone for Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum looks very bullish overall, saw a big upside from $800 to $1,600. Now let's get into the chart, whether this week's closing is going to be bullish or bearish. Should we get all long or should we all start shorting the markets? That's the question mark today. Let's aim into it. Before we get into the charts, this is a friendly reminder for everybody to aim into Apes Utopia collection, which is launching on ebisusbay on the Crohn's network. We have 1 day, 9 hours left. You're going to be getting rewards, incentives, and obviously a metaverse where you can all hang out. If you stake your Apes Utopia NFT, you can earn a Utopia token. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you can earn on this Apes Utopia NFT. Don't miss out on this opportunity. This is going to be one opportunity that will give you revenue on your investment. And obviously in a bear market like this, everybody wants to see utilities in the NFTs they invest into. So few hours to go. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Hope to see you guys there on the mint day. Let's get into the DXY chart. On the 4 hours, DXY dollar currency index is the most important indicator for us to look into a bear market and into a bull market. DXY faced a huge rejection, and ever since then we've just been seeing a downside and some sideways movement. Ideally, the support level right now is at 105. We are holding around 106. Once we do come below the 105 support level, which is the green box, we are going to be testing its trend line. Trend line is going to be very important because if it holds, we're going to be seeing a downside coming into Bitcoin and Ethereum's price. If we break this trend line, that could signal us or give us an idea that we are heading into a bull market. Now let's look into the USDT's dominance. USDT is the king. Most people trade in USDT. So if we look into the USDT's dominance, we faced a similar rejection to DXY, and ever since that we've been sideways and slowly going down. If we look into our green box, we are retesting that support right now. We have broken below that support level, and we have also broken the 4 hours trend line, which is a signal that likely this could be a big relief rally into the Bitcoin and Ethereum, which we can see on their price action. But we still need some confirmations, which we will see from the closing on Bitcoin on the weekly. If we look into the BTC USDT's 4 hour chart, we are in a rising channel right now. We have been rejected on this rising channel previously on 21st June, and now we face another rejection, which is around 20th July. This rejection came into play after Tesla announced that they sold 75% of their BTC. And since then, we've been seeing a lower high on the 4 hours and a lower low. We are just trading in that range and retesting our previous resistance level. We're still above the golden cross, which is a very bullish sign, but the RSI divergence is coming into play every now and then. Let's look at the daily time frame, what is happening on BTC. So on the daily time frame, we are testing and taking support from our 50 MA, which is a very good sign. But if we keep testing it again and again, things might go downside, which we don't want to see. We obviously want to see an upside on the crypto market, especially BTC, because BTC is the king. It's the one that leads us into the bull markets and the bear markets. Overall, we are in the same channel that we saw on the 4 hours. We are in that resistance zone, still trading in that red box. We want to see some big volume, but unfortunately, volume now is in a downside. We aren't seeing much volume coming into BTC. Maybe because it's the weekend. Weekend sometimes doesn't have that volume. We lack volatility, but let's see how this weekly closing is going to be on the weekly chart. Before we get into BTC's weekly chart, let's look at Ethereum. So if we look into Ethereum's 4 hour chart, we were in that rising channel. We did break above. We're still above the golden cross. We are seeing RSI divergence on Ethereum, which is keeping us sideways and obviously facing resistance from around $1,670. We would ideally want to break above this resistance zone so we can see an upside to 1800, which was my initial target on this upside. but we have failed to do so. We're just trading right now in this range. We would ideally want to break above. We are still above the golden cross, which is a very bullish sign. If we look on the daily chart for Ethereum right now is testing the worst case scenario. So the worst case scenario was around $1,663. We are above the 50 MA. We aren't retesting the 50 MA like BTC is. So Ethereum overall looks a lot more bullish compared to BTC. Obviously, there's a merge news. Then in the conference, Vitalik shared they're going to be processing 100,000 transactions per second. A lot of bullish news with the merge, with the conference, and whatever information is coming from the Ethereum blockchain. Now we can look into the weekly chart for BTC. So we are right now seeing the body slightly above the 200 moving average, because the 200 moving average price is around $22,700. So we have wicked above on this week, but we are still trading in a similar range, just below and into our bearish peanut flag. We want to close this above the bearish peanut flag and obviously above the 200 moving average. Previously, we had been trading below the 200 average for nearly 4 weeks. This will be the first candle that's going to close above the 200 moving average, which also signals us a formation of the bottom on this cycle. But we still have to wait a few hours to understand whether this is going to close below or this is going to close above and decide our bullish and bearish trade setups. Now let's get into the greed and fear index. Look into the Gate.io's big data. So we are on 31 fear levels in the greed and fear index. Yesterday we were at 33. If we look into long and short ratio on block trades and global data, pretty even Stevens in 24 hours. But in 1 hour on block trades, 65.46% people are in long positions. A lot of longs are opening. Looking at the price structure and the chart structure on Bitcoin right now, if we look into the funding rate for Bitcoin, it's positive at an idle place of 0.0100%, and the market sentiment for Bitcoin is neutral, while market sentiment for Ethereum is at sell. Probably this is another place according to the data that you should be booking some profits at, and the funding rate is slightly higher, but it remains positive. If we get into my favorite part, which is Gate.io startup blockchain project discounts, we're going to be seeing amazing Team DAO launching in about 20 hours. And after that, we're going to ape into TomTom coin, which is going to be starting in 2 days and 15 hours. Last week, I shared with you guys a few projects to ape into in newly listed and startup. So the projects that we aped into have seen a very good upside. If we look into OMIMIZ, it's up about 1569%. If we look into Wuzo Music, it's up about 19%. And a lot of other projects had performed really well, and right now they are in some pullback from those upsides. So obviously, if you want to ape into a startup project, you have to be a VIP member on Gate.io. If you aren't a VIP member, no problem. You can always ape into them in the newly listed. Because I wanted to see where we are with the Altseason, so I'm going to share with you guys the Altseason Index. If we look into the season itself, it still remains closer to BTC than the Altseason. If we look into the month is just in the middle around 55. And if we look into the year, whether this is a Bitcoin year, it's at 43, still closer to the Bitcoin season. So likely the others dominance, the Bitcoin dominance relationship is still been sideways. Ethereum dominance did see a quick upside, but still remains in a sideways area. So we can't really call this an altcoin season just yet. The biggest day for this month is going to be July 26 to 27. These 2 days are going to give us the announcements from the Fed. Are we going to be seeing a 75 BPS or 100 BPS? Both of them are going to have some kind of reaction in the stock markets and crypto markets. Obviously, Bitcoin is still in a correlation right now with the stock markets. We would like to break away from this correlation, but it hasn't happened yet. Tesla sold 75% BTC, brought further into the markets. We have to close the weekly above the 200 moving average to get into any kind of bullish trade setups, and obviously wait for what the Fed is going to do. 75 BPS or 100 BPS, I feel like maybe they could go for 100 BPS because things aren't as controlled as they would want. We're nowhere close to a soft landing. So that's all for today's video, guys. I hope you liked today's video. If you do, smash the like button, share your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to click on the subscribe button, subscribe to my channel. Have a great weekend, guys. Gonna be back here soon. Bye bye.